Hello, good morning. It's still good to be here, and I want to welcome you especially to this special program to mark the International Women's Day, which is today. You know, today is 8th of March, and this is 2000 edition of celebrating women, honoring women. And so we have this special interview where we are going to bring to you talks about women, and this program is sponsored by, or let me not say sponsored, it is brought to you courtesy the Challenge Initiative Network in collaboration with Development Communication Network, a non-profit organization based in Nigeria. Both of them are committed in empowering women. They are committed into media advocacy for women, especially as it has to do with family planning. And so this morning, to talk especially on the women and then move on to talk about family planning, I have in the house with me Grace Okon. Yes, Grace Okon is a regular face here, and she is a member Kwaibom State Advocacy Core Group on Family Planning. She is a State Family Planning Master Trainer and the immediate past State Reproductive Health Coordinator. I'm pleased to have you here, Grace.
Good morning, viewers. Good morning. Thank you very much for having me.
Yes, good morning. Yes, I would like to tell you that Ima Bongudo, who is a focal person for this place, will be joining us shortly. But I think we will have to start with some clips. We went to the street and we decided to feel pulses of the people and find out something about the women. How can they celebrate women? How many children did your mother? I just want to put that question to you also. How many children did your mother give birth to? And when we get back, we will continue with the program. So let's go and hear what our people have to say on this. The 2024 International Women's Day celebration comes up, and we all roll out our drums to celebrate women. As a person, I want to find out from you, how many children did your mother have, and then what do you think should be an ideal number of children, and then you will celebrate women. Just let's roll.
My mother had 7, and it was with ease. But presently now, because of the current economic situation and challenges we have, if I was to advise, I believe families should go for 2 or 3 at least, so you can be able to cater for them. It's not having children everywhere that you cannot take care of. And I think that is the best from my own side. And then I want to use this opportunity to celebrate mothers, to celebrate women everywhere. My mother that brought me to this earth, and every other woman. I want to say God will bless all our mothers and our women in Jesus' name.
My mom had, we were 5 in number. My mom had 5 kids. So that was then, and things were cheap comparing to now that things are so high. So in this present condition, which my mom should have 3 children at least. I appreciate my mom so much, wherever she is, for giving birth to us and also brought us up to this level. And I say thank you.
My mother had 6 children, and I have 2, and I feel like having that too because of the current economy in Nigeria. It's not having many children, it's how to train them, and the most important thing is to train their children. That's what I'm about to do. That's what I want to happen to, so I can train them. So tomorrow is the International Women's Day. I celebrate women. They are very good, everything. So may God bless all women in Jesus' mighty name.
Amen. So do you agree that your husband should have just 2 children?
The fact that
Me, I want 4.
Yes, amazing. That's great. And I don't understand how. In fact, I do not understand how a parent those days would have up to 10, 15, 12, 6 children, and some of them were still waxing very strong. But these days, you really will see that I have to also join to celebrate, especially those women who have given birth to so many children, and God saw them through. This morning, I joined the people we interviewed to celebrate their mothers. Wherever they are, I say kudos to you. May God bless you for all that you went through to bring up your children. And so on this special program, let's talk a bit about the women who everybody today is celebrating. Now, Grace, you are here, you are a woman, and I know you expect to be celebrated. So let's start with that. Why do you think that women should be celebrated?
Thank you very much. I want to say that if there is any group of persons that should be celebrated, women should be the first to be celebrated, because we bring life to the world. We are the people that bring forth the children that make up the whole population. Without a woman, you cannot have a nation. You can't. And women have a very important role to play in reproductive health, because without these women, we cannot have the general population. And we have a very big role to also play in our families. We play a big role in the society, and in fact, there's nothing you can do without including the women, because the women are everywhere. We take care of ourselves, we take care of the family, like the husband, we take care of the children. In the community, we have a lot of roles to play. And with this, we have been doing very well. Women have been doing very well. Despite all the challenges that we face, the women have always been coming up tops, and they deserve to be celebrated.
Wow.
They really deserve it.
Yes, this year has a theme. Do you know the theme, and can you explain the theme to us?
The theme for this year's International Women's Day, as put up by the United Nations, is invest in women. Then you are going to, when you invest in women, you will have accelerated progress. Then we also have this campaign, a theme that says inspire inclusion, meaning that every barrier that has been, hindering women from achieving their potentials, every stereotype, everything that has been putting the women behind should be removed, and the women should have this freedom to, achieve their potentials as God had created them. We also want everybody to know that, as people say, that what a man can do, a woman can do even better.
And now you're saying, as people say, is it
yes,
not real?
as people say, because if women are given the rights and the opportunity as men, we will aspire to any level. You see, women today, you have women that are international figures. I don't want to mention names, but at least we know women that have aspired so high in the economic field. Some women have very best in different fields of life. There's nothing that a man has done that women have not been able to do. Honestly, we need to look at it critically, because these women have done very well. If you put women in the classroom with men, you see we compete favorably with them. There is even a class that you see women will come first, second, third before you now see the men follow us. So these women, if you give women the opportunity and the chance, they will be able to aspire to any level.
Okay.
So in fact, we will discuss a lot about the girl child today, because some people, when they have children, they feel it's only the male children they should give preference to.
Okay.
But I want to tell us today that any child that God has given to you, train that child. If you train a female child, they said train a woman and you train a nation. So we want everybody to know that the women, the girls, every female is as important as any male in the society.
Okay, let's mention some of the barriers that have hindered women from being included. We are talking about inclusiveness here.
Yes.
And there are barriers.
Yes.
I'd like you to elaborate on some of them.
Well, the first one that comes to my mind is our culture, what we grew up to see, what our parents used to do. You know, in the traditional society, a woman does not really have a say. She only stands by what the man says, that's the husband says. And she does not really, she cannot make any decision of her own until maybe she has a dialogue with the husband before she can now have a decision. And in the traditional society, women were pushed back. We were not given that opportunity to move forward. You can remember in those days, if a family has a lot of children, they would train the male children and say that the female children will be married out, and these female children will go and be of benefit to the family that they are married to. So some parents were not actually very much interested in training the girls. They were interested in training the males that will carry on the family name. That's part of our culture. So that used to be something that hindered the women. And I still thank God for some of the parents in those days that despite all that, they still trained their female children. And some of those female children that were trained proved and showed that they could aspire to any level. So culture is part of the problem that that hindered women. Then another thing is illiteracy. So many women, as I had said, were not trained. They did not go to school in those days. But now, I thank God that people have come to see the importance of sending, training their female children. And these female children that were not trained in those days were very much behind. They could not achieve much because of, illiteracy. They were not trained. But now that we are training our girls are aspiring to very high levels, and they are making it in life.
Okay.
Then another aspect is poverty. One of those things that used to push women back, because we were not, making enough money in those days. Women were not, given the opportunity to go out and make money, and you see that they were just at the mercy of maybe their husbands. So this poverty actually hindered so many women, because nowadays if a man says I cannot train you, the woman can make her money and go back to school if she wants to do that. So I think maybe as we go on, we will talk more on some of these things that
let's take a look at the political angle. Okay. Judging from what you have said, I don't know, I wanted to ask you, looking at your area, your immediate environment, do you think these things you have said is better now, that the men or the families are now taking care of girl children, and they are sending them to school, they are educating them better than it used to be then? Do you think it is better? Then politically, how do you see women inclusion?
What I want to really thank the parents of these days, because they are taking all the children along, be it female or male children. The situation is very much better now, because the girls are being trained to any level. And politically, as you have said, the women were advocating for 35% inclusion, and actually the politicians are doing well, because some of the women that have been given political appointments, they are not doing badly. So the women are now brought into the scene, and the politicians have seen that the women can handle any position that is given to them politically, and the women are actually doing very well.
Okay, like in this state, I don't know how many of us are in government, and just yesterday there was an appointment by the governor, and that appointment we had one lady as one of the SAs to the governor. There were, I think I saw 4 male and 1 female. Well, I thank God that at least there was, a woman. Because if there was none, we would have protested today.
At least. You see, even cutting across the civil service, you have a lot of women as permanent secretaries. You have women as commissioners. Yes, special advisors. You also have women there. So
Okay.
the women are really brought into the scene.
So I don't know what is limiting us. And sometimes when we talk about inclusion, I realize that even women are biased to themselves. Have you seen in politics? I remember that woman. What was that? Her name was Stella. She contested as a president, and all of us said we were supporting
Yeah,
her.
and she had only one
She
vote.
had only one.
The vote she voted for herself.
Well, so what happened there?
So women can also be a problem to themselves because we women, we are very, very envious in terms of maybe I want to be in that position. Why must she be there? I also want to be there. So sometimes you see women would not even want to support the women that are inspiring for certain positions. But that doesn't mean that we cannot do well. It doesn't mean we cannot do well. We do well. And we know that God created us with so much potentials, which if we put these potentials to work, we'll achieve so much.
Okay, thank you very much. I think maybe let's move on. What we are still going to talk on will still be in line with the celebration of today. Like I told you earlier, I said that this program is brought to you courtesy of the Challenge Initiative and Development Communication Network, a non-governmental organization based here in Nigeria. They are into health promotion, they are into capacity building, advocacy, and gender equality programs that could help in social behavioral change. And this morning we are going to dwell fully on family planning being a tool for women empowerment. And I remember that talking about the theme of this year, it is said that women should be invested
Invest in women.
Yes, the theme is invest in women as inspire inclusion, but we are dwelling with this investment. So investment will come in diverse ways, but today our focus is on family planning. How can family planning be an empowerment package? But we start with explaining what family planning is.
Well, so many people have said so many things about family planning without really knowing what it is, but I want to give us, maybe bring it down to the lowest term that everybody will understand. Like we say in a layman's language, that family planning is having the number of children we can comfortably take care of. I mean comfortably take care of.
Okay.
And some people will say having children by choice and not by chance. Many women, they have children that they never planned for. But now we are advocating for women to be intentional about having children, not just having children, but having the number of children that you can comfortably take care of. So we talk of family planning in many ways, because the first thing that comes to mind is the life of this woman. Talking of family planning, something that we can use to empower the woman. If the woman is having so many children, it will affect her adversely. And with family planning, she can comfortably take up the number of children that she will be able to take care of. Okay. And in those days, people used to measure families by the number of children they have, but that is no longer so. We are now looking at how well you can train your children, how well you can bring up your children, and how good these children can become when they grow up in the society.
Okay, I was really encouraged with those short clips that we listened to or we just watched earlier. All the people we interviewed there, they said they want to have at least 2 or at most 3 children. Why? The economic situation. They are considering how things are considering the fact that to have that number, it will be what they can afford, maybe to educate them properly and even give them better health care and everything. Yes. So I was really encouraged by the way people were talking, and so we didn't need to put words in their mouth. We saw the other one with 2 children. Yes. Though the wife says she will want to have 4. When the man say 2, it's okay. Okay, so let's find out, why is it essential to do family planning?
Well, there are many benefits attached to family planning. But first, I want to look at the benefits to this woman we are talking about. The first thing is that the woman will stay alive. Because of unwanted pregnancies, many women have lost their lives. But with family planning, the woman can only get pregnant when she is supposed to get pregnant and have a child when she is still alive. And from studies, we have seen that 30% of deaths, maternal deaths, can be averted when we use family planning. 30% of the maternal deaths can be averted when we use family planning. Meaning that
so out of 100 people,
out of 100 people that
30.
die from delivery, 30 can be averted using family planning methods. Why are we saying this? There are some women that get pregnant when they are not ready. They go out to procure abortion, and during that process, they may lose their lives. Then there are some other women that they have so many children, maybe more than 5. During the process, they have complicated delivery, and the woman loses her life. But with family planning, all these unintended pregnancies will not come. So we are very much intentional about women getting pregnant when they are supposed to get pregnant. You see these days when you go for weddings, they will now say, when they're about to cut the cake, they will say, when I mention the number of children you want, you now cut the cake. That's what some of them do. You see some people, they will cut the cake maybe at 3. They will cut the cake at the count of 4. Then at the end, they will end up having up to 6 children. Like those people that spoke well before we started, some said they want 2 children. What are you doing about yourself so that you have just these 2 children? Because some of the times that women have so many children, it is not, they do not intend to have so many. But some of them do not really know how to stop having these babies. Because from studies we have seen that once a woman gives birth and is up to 6 weeks after delivery, some women's body, they are ready to take up another baby. So without using family planning methods, the woman can easily get pregnant before the baby is even up to 3 months. So what we are advocating for is that women, once you just have your baby, we now have what we call the postpartum family planning, because some women are very, very fertile, that after 1 month of delivery, they are already seeing their menses again, meaning that their bodies are ready for the next baby. So what we do is postpartum family planning can be used on such women. Then if the woman leaves the facility before postpartum family planning could be done, she could come back a month after delivery and take off family planning methods. Because a woman will say, I don't want to have any other child, but you see her getting pregnant again. Don't just say that. Go to a health facility, take off family planning methods and protect yourself. Because if you're not protecting yourself, you can get pregnant when you do not even intend to.
Okay, so in what ways does access to family planning help empower women in their personal lives?
In their personal lives, you see, any woman that has planned her family, having the number of children she is able to take care of, she will be able to maybe develop herself in terms of maybe going back to school. There are some women that would want to go back to school, and maybe they had a first degree, they do a second degree and move higher in the academic ladder. And even those that want to do business, if you have so many children to cater for, you will not be able to carry on that business successfully. Okay, for example, if a woman is running, maybe she has a hairdressing salon, and she has a customer, then she has about 3 little children in the salon with her. Nowadays we don't have housemates, so these 3 children will be with her in the salon. She's trying to make a customer's hair, and these children are hovering around her. The other one will poo, she will have to go and change the pampers. The other one will say, Mommy, I want to eat. Before she could finish that customer's hair, it will take her over 3 hours, something she would have done maybe in 1 hour. And when that happens, that customer would not be encouraged to go back to that particular salon because of waste of time. having to take care of too many children. Now, for another example is women that go to this early morning market, like going to Ishet market to get fish. If you are a businesswoman dealing on fish and crayfish, they leave as early as 5 in the morning so that they'll be able to get the good fish and the crayfish that will be brought. Any woman that has many children to take care of can never leave the house by 5 a.m. If not, it will be she will neglect those children. She will not be able to take good care of them before she goes. So the woman can do business better when she has just a few children to take care of. So it is really important that our women know the importance of having just a sizable number of children you can comfortably take care of. So family planning will empower that woman to be able to do better in any field of life that she is into.
Okay, thank you very much. I think we'll take a break here. I'd like us to welcome, to join us on set, Imabon Odo. She's in the house. Once we are back, you will see her face. Let's go.
This is a home where we all belong. The place where life is beautiful. The peaceful ambience we enjoy when we live together in unity and love. It's only man and you know. We go stand together, we go make them better. We be brothers and sisters, no matter where we be. It's only man and you know. No matter where we be, we are one. Let's live together in peace and harmony.
Told you that once we are back, you will see a new face joining us, and the person is no other than Imabon Odo, the angel on TV, our director, programs directorate here in AKBC, and she is the media focal person at Akwa Ibom State Core Group on Family Planning. I'm pleased to welcome her to the studio.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for
pleasure.
joining us.
Thank you.
Yes, if you've been with us, you know we've been talking about International Women's Day celebration, and we transited from there into talking about family planning as a tool for women empowerment. How is family planning a tool for empowering women? That's what we are still trying to establish, and Grace Okon has been doing justice to discuss. And so let me just allow you to rest. Let me still go back to her. Yes, I remember that I saw something like for a business to thrive, that when you have a less number of children, is possible to sustain that business more than those who have maybe many children.
Yes.
How?
Looking at that, you see that some businesses that people run, they may have little income coming into that business, and when you have too many children to feed, too many children to cater for, part of the income in that business will go into family. You use it to take care of the children, and the money that you are using for the business will deplete, and you will now see that the business will be going down because of too many mouths to feed. And the mother is using the money for the business because she will look at, maybe when there is no food in the house and there is money in the business, she will pick money from the business. There is no mother that will allow her children to stay hungry. No mother will allow her children to stay hungry. If there is money anywhere in the house, she will get the money and make sure she provides food for the children. That is exactly what some women do. They pick money from the business and they use it to cater for the children.
Which is not good.
It is not good, and at the end the business will go down and the woman will be helpless. There will be no money to run the business again.
Okay, let's take a look at challenges faced by women in assessing family planning. I think you can help us out there.
Well, thank you very much. Talking about the challenges the people have, first is ignorance. The greatest problem is ignorance, because a lot of people have wrong myths and and misconceptions about it. Some people say if you do family planning in this generation, when you die and come back, you will not have children, things like that. So it begins to become a problem from the beginning, from the onset. And then the other one is that, knowledge is very few. Some places do not even have knowledge of family planning methods, so they are not able to even access. And then sometimes also it has to do with distance. They say they have family planning locations in different places, but the problem we have is that you may find out that distance might be a little bit too far for some of these people to access. I remember we going to, I think we went to a run or somewhere, and we discovered that the distance from the inner people inside to come out to access it, the communities, it became a problem. And then those people just stay back. And then on the other hand, it also has to do with the men. Sorry, we always love our men, we honor them and all that. So they give us instructions, when they say, don't try it. You can't try it. Because if you do, they'll say you're going back to your father's house. I keep wondering whether the father's house is no longer a house, But those are some of the challenges we have, and a little beyond that is also that the girl children too have also refused to get this because they are ashamed, they are afraid. People might talk about them and all that. But if you're sexually active, Jesus Christ, you need to do something about it. So family planning assessing is something that I think, and those are a few challenges I think I can talk about.
I think you still have some to mention, do you?
Yes, like our culture is part of the challenges that we face, because our people used to have many children, and they said that if you have many children, they will see you as a very rich person in those days. But that kind of culture these days, people are, because of the economic situation of the country, many people are cutting down the sizes of their family. So culture was part of the problems we had in family planning. Then religion. There are some religious sects that do not allow people to even take injections, tablets, or any form of medical treatment. And there are some that I don't want to mention, but there are some that actually do only natural family planning, which may not go well with all women. And this religion is a problem, because some women would not want to even come out, even when they have up to 7-8 children, because they don't want to be seen at a family planning clinic by any member of their church, so they will not come. So those are some of the things that used to also hinder women. Then the women ourselves, she talked about the myths and the misconceptions. There are so many things we hear about family planning that you now start to think, if I go to take up any method, will it go down well with me? I want to say it openly here that some of these myths and misconceptions that we hear in our communities are not true. Some people that carry about this information have never been to any family planning clinic to maybe access family planning services. They sit back at home and discourage other people from going to family planning facilities to take up methods. Why? Because they feel family planning will not allow them to have children. So many things people talk about family planning. So we need to debunk. I'd like
to ask you, have you assessed family planning at any point?
Yes.
Have you, as a person?
Yes, as a person I had to.
Can you just share your story?
All right. Personally, I had when I had my first 4 children, I had 2 boys and 2 girls, and I was very happy with myself. But because I did not take up any family planning method, the 5th child came.
Okay. So you have 5 children?
I have 5 children. The 5th child, after the 5th child, that was when I now took a step. I said, I can't continue like this.
Where were you working before then?
I was still working as a nurse.
Yet you did not?
Yes. Nurses. No, there are some people that are trained on family planning. Not all the nurses are trained on family planning. We have providers. I was a
now I wanted to establish a point that even nurses could have up to 5 children.
Unintended pregnancy is not a respecter of anybody.
Okay.
No matter your level of education, no matter your profession, even medical doctors, if they want to tell you that they've had 1 or 2 unintended pregnancies, you'll be shocked. It happens to anybody. So
okay, let's continue with the story. So what did you do?
It was at the 5th child that I now went to a family planning clinic, and I took up a method. That was
So
how
do
I
you
stopped
think that
having
if you
children.
didn't do that, you would still be giving birth to children?
As at then I was 35. You know, I was still in the reproductive age.
Okay.
And I would have still continued if I did not take up any method. So I want to say it here that women, don't sit at home and say, I want 3 children. If it could happen to someone like me, it can happen to anybody. Unintended pregnancies does not see whether you are a married person, you are not married. Even married women have unintended pregnancies. So many children we have given birth to are unintended.
Okay, let's quickly run through what we could do to maybe curb these challenges. Let's just do that so that we get back to empowerment.
Yes, we need to create awareness. We need to create
And
awareness.
that's what we are doing.
Yes, we are actually creating awareness now. And apart from that, in the health facilities, the health workers could go to the communities to do outreaches, give out health information to the members of the communities. Because some of these people in the communities, some of them have never come to the health facility for one thing or the other. So you need to take out this information to their doorstep. I'm a public health nurse, and we are trained to take information from the health facility to the doorsteps of the community people and tell them about family planning. There are so many women that have never taken up any method. They believe they can do it on their own. It is not really possible.
But I have seen that we do not have enough personnel. Oh, okay. Yes, we went to Okobo. I think just a few weeks ago, and some of the things those people were lamenting about was the fact that they don't have enough personnel. Like she was talking about going to the interior area.
For outreaches.
Now, what do you think can be done to solve such problems?
Yes, talking about what can be done. We need more NGOs to be interested in doing this. We need volunteers. We need young people who would want to help and assess this, so that we can take it to the grassroots. Government cannot do it alone. We still need more people.
But what can government do?
What government can do?
Oh, they have done it?
No, not absolutely, because if you have 5 people or 2 people working in a big place like that, and about 35 people come to assess family planning method, it's not possible for them to be able to do it. So it's either going to make the people get tired and go back home and say, well, I'll find time to come next time, and next time may never come. And then on the other hand, we need more people to be there so that they can share the chores to different, and because it's not just family planning alone that they do in these health centers.
Yes.
They have other things, like even when people are ill ordinarily, maybe malaria or something. So if you're going to spend the whole day working on only family planning, then we may end up in some corpses, in the place. So I'm thinking that, and then beyond that, I also find out that they don't have enough facilities in the place. If you come to have a baby in some of those places, there was a problem of lighting in Okobo. It was really terrible to know that they use torchlights.
At night.
Not even at night. If you are in labor and then somebody comes in labor, you can imagine how you're going to deliver a baby with torchlight. These are all risky things that we do, and God is helping us. Beyond that, no, really, God is helping us. And we looked at the facilities. We discovered that we didn't even have enough beds. So if you come and you really need to have to stay overnight, where will you sleep?
I wish I had known you mentioned that. I would have made them to play those clips, because I had them and I didn't want those sound. I had those clips. I have that wooden bed, very small. I don't know how you call it in your dialect. We call it akwam. Run.
Where did you see it?
Yes.
We saw
Okobo.
it in Okobo.
I saw it too.
So you can imagine that small thing.
That's
So I didn't know whether it was for the baby or for,
Or for the mother.
Wow.
Okay, let's move on. How does family planning help women in their educational advancement, career advancement, and all that?
Okay, let me, from my own perspective, family planning for me is, if you do family planning, you're free to do more for yourself. You can now take care of yourself. You can advance in your academics. You can do any other thing. You can even get a private job to do, and you can work it out. But when you're having to have babies, one is crying and the other one is holding your hand, the other one is very feverish and all that, you don't have the time at all. You can't even leave the children to go to help yourself. And as such, you're going to stay impoverished, because it has to be daddy bring, daddy bring, daddy bring. But if you allow your woman to maybe have some training, go out, do some other jobs, then one person will bring this and the other person will bring this, and it's a little easier, and she will be empowered. And also exposure can do a whole lot for a human being. You know, when you're sitting at home all through talking to yourself, working with your children, mom, and every time you're angry and quarreling because you're not happy with your life, and then how do you move on from there? So when you go out, you meet people, they will give you suggestions. Someone can even offer you a job or something, and then you get better. So I'm thinking that those are some of the things we should do.
Any other thing to add there?
Well, she has actually said much on that. And
Okay.
I think
So research has linked a high mortality rate to lack of family planning. You have already explained it, but I'd like you to reiterate it as we want to go, so that maybe if I understand this, it can help me to take a decision.
Well, as I had said, with studies we have seen that 30% of deaths, maternal deaths, can be averted when we use family planning methods. A whole lot, 30%. All the unintended pregnancies will not come around at all with the use of family planning. So we look at women that take off family planning, they are staying safe. While those that do not take off family planning, anything can happen to them at any time. Some may happen to have unintended pregnancy, they will now go to procure abortion, and they will end up dying and leaving the children. So with family planning, you can be sure that that woman will not die unnecessarily. Let me just put it that way.
Okay. You are a member of our Akwa Ibom State Advocacy Core Group on
Yes, we
family
are.
planning. What are the things you people are really doing?
Sensitizing the communities, getting to relevant authorities to support family planning in the state, and also giving family planning information, as we are doing right now,
Okay.
to people in the states, and also making sure that family planning is carried on in all our public health facilities.
Okay, as a media focal person for this core group, what's your duty, and what can you say as a parting shot as we leave this?
Yeah, so far we're really working tirelessly. Even today, this morning, we've sent some people to Itinan, and what we do is we cover these things as they are, see it as they are, because you know most times when people see it, it makes the difference. And beyond that, we also talk about, we make flyers, we go into the hinterland, we try to explain to people the need. And now we're even going into making some drama, sketches.
Okay.
Because this tells the story of what everybody's going through. So we're trying to put all that together. So what I'm trying to say is, as the media focal person, we are writing them in newspapers now. We have a group of media group, a media group where they are writing in newspapers, they are putting out on radio, they are putting out on TV. So I'll advise and employ people to do is, please, when you hear us talk about family planning, keep your ears to the ground, listen to it, try to take the advice we give to you. You know, we are not medical people, but we have learned from what we've seen that it's very important. And beyond that, finally, I would like everybody to keep listening to radio programs and TV programs that are focused on family
plan. Thank you very much, Mabomudo. Thank you, Grace Okon. It's been nice having you here, and we want to believe that next time you will come here, we'll be able to open the phone lines so that the people can ask questions. Maybe there are some questions I've not been able to ask you. I want to believe that in the nearest future, we'll have people who will answer those questions. And here we go, wishing all the women a very happy International Women's Day. So, on this note, we sign off. My name is Grace Hussein. Do have a lovely day.